Hello and welcome everyone. It's Mike's on. Yeah, Mike's is on. Nice. We're here. Hello. Yeah, welcome to the Pantsless Podcast. With me here today, we got the three musketeers once again. Joe, North, and me, Tomolo. Yeah. Hello.
What's up?
Hello.
Everyone's
How are you
doing
guys?
great.
Yeah, how are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. I've been grinding on Tarkov, and I'm like this close from getting like the biggest container, which basically requires you to do every single quest. And since the last wipe, I played like 700 hours. And
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so close. I'm so close.
That's
It's the Kappa container, right?
Yeah, Kappa container.
Yeah, I've seen the requirements for the quest itself, and it's play a lot of
fucking dumb.
Tarkov. Yeah, and it's stupid. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll tell you how much I know about Tarkov. I didn't even know it had quests. I had no idea it had like objectives or anything. I thought it was just survive.
It's just like give you something to do while you're at it, like a small objective. Go to this place and plant like a marker
That's
on
cool.
some tank and just get out or something like that.
Yeah,
pretty-
there's quests like kill specific NPCs or with specific gear or like modify guns to a specific like sets of requirements or whatever. There's like tons of different quests in Tarkov, but mostly it is just shoot and kill.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a thing.
You get a thing?
Tell us about the
I
thing.
got a thing.
Oh, what the hell is going on with my hair today?
So this doesn't require any sort of discussion, but I want to mention this because for me this is one of the most hilarious things that has happened in recent days. So, ladies and gentlemen, the teaser trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War dropped a couple of days ago. We're not gonna watch the trailer because who gives a shit? But within that trailer, there's a montage of essentially a like 1980s civil unrest moments that happened, like real history. And one of those clips is from Tiananmen Square protests from 1989.
Ooh, I heard about that one.
And I guess everyone can probably guess where this is going.
Yeah.
The trailer obviously got banned promptly in China, which then prompted Activision to collectively release a new trailer for everyone. Not just the specific trailer for China anymore, but for everyone. They also, weirdly, they did not take that one clip out. The original trailer was 2 minutes long, and then the new trailer was 1 minute long. But you can still find the original because it's on the internet. It will never go away.
Like, how do you fuck up so bad? Like, I don't know. Like, China is pretty big, and we heavily rely on China. Let's make this stupid thing that they want to hide and put it on our trailer. Let's do that.
So I got two theories for it. One, which is probably the more plausible one, is that the trailer is done by a third party like ad agency, and it just got slipped through the cracks or whatever. That's probably what happened. But the one that I like more is that they intentionally did it so that I'm the fucker who talks about it.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. That's tough. What was the turnaround time on the original posted to the new one posted?
It was probably like under 24 hours. And like a lot of, because the original, like, it was released, and a lot of gaming websites and outlets, they embed that video into their own sites.
Mm-hmm.
And like PC Gamer showed that it's an entirely new video. It's not an updated, they didn't update the original, because if you go and try to watch the original, it's privated. on Activision's own YouTube channel. But what makes this entire thing so juicy and so good is that the tagline for the entire game is "Know Your History."
Wow. That's you couldn't make that up. You can't write that. That can only be so dumb that it has to be real. That's amazing.
As the game's title suggests, it's about the Cold War, and yeah, I mean, they have that "Know Your History" thing fucking plastered everywhere.
Wow.
But it's, remember kids, it's selective history. Like, that's the true meaning. Like, if Papa China says that it's not okay to show Tiananmen Square things, then no, don't do it.
Yeah. It's only no acceptable history.
Yes,
That's
exactly. Exactly.
It's just
History
in real tiny
written by the
text.
winners. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
In conclusion, fuck you, Activision, for being spineless cowards, and fuck you, China, for being,
Yep. China.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's silly. Gosh.
That's-
That almost had to be man. I don't even know. I feel like that had to be intentional. How do you mess up that bad? Because like they know that China is their biggest market. So why would I don't know. That's weird. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's a third-party ad agency, I have to believe that they know what they're doing. I have to believe that they know that they're making an ad for a Call of Duty game that's gonna be, released worldwide. And like, but this is not even the first time when Activision's got like in trouble with like this sort of thing. Black Ops 2 is entirely banned from China. Because in Black Ops 2, I tried to even like remember, but I don't remember. But apparently, and I don't think you see this in the game, but I think it's like said in a cutscene or something. A Chinese city or village gets bombed in that game, and the entire game is banned from China. Can't play Black Ops 2 in China. I'm so sorry.
It's crazy.
To be honest, they're not missing a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's true. It's true.
Damn. That's
The
I
thing
don't
is just so stupid.
for them to have already had like a whole other video made. So I guess it is possible that like assuming it was a third party, or even if it wasn't, like I guess they would have like multiple drafts. So maybe the one that they put out that was only a minute long was like their second choice, and after they messed up, they're like, "Oh crap! What's the next best one that doesn't have something that'll get it banned?" Like the fifth one, but it's only a minute long.
Fuck
It doesn't matter.
But they did achieve one thing. We're talking about it.
Yeah, in the end, I'm the real schmuck here, because I'm talking about the fucking teaser trailer to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, available for pre-order right now.
Which I definitely would not have otherwise. I would not.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
wouldn't care at all.
What's actually like funny too is that they showed. Technically, for me, it's yesterday when they dropped the campaign trailer, and it says that it's captured on PS5, and the release date for the game is November 28th. But I'm pretty sure the PS5 is not out on November 28th.
Now, I have seen a few leaks that I think it was German Amazon, maybe a couple weeks ago, had it listed as like partway through November for 500 euros. So it's so that's, take that as you will. It could have just been shopped or something, but there is some precedence for it possibly already being out by that. So
500 euros though?
Well, only $4.99.
Oh, well, that's way better.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, it's okay.
But it's $4.99 in in Germany, I know, I think we have higher taxes on electronics here, so it's probably gonna be like 550 at least.
I bet my left testicle that if it's $4.99 in Germany, it'll be $4.99 in Finland too.
Really?
Yes.
I'll come collect.
You're welcome.
Some people are saying it's going to be like 500 just everywhere. Like even in America, it'll still just be $500.
Except in Brazil, where apparently gaming consoles are super expensive. At least that's what I've heard back in the day.
Yeah, Brazil is actually like an anomaly in it. I saw like some video, like they got the PS2 like years after the rest of the world, for instance, because it like couldn't pass the Brazilian some sort of like, I don't know, some board of something, and it was super expensive too.
Yeah,
and I have no idea like why.
I know that they were actually still making FIFA games for Brazil on the PS2 up until like 2016 or 2017. Like they were actually making, because they sold so many of them in Brazil that they kept making PS2 games for them until like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I can believe that. Truly. I also think that usually the last game to release on a console usually is a FIFA game. Or any like sports game, annualized sports game. Might be like NHL or
I believe that. They drag those things out for forever. Except I think the Wii is still getting Just Dance games. So that might be the exception.
Is it exclusively for like internet cafes?
Just Dance?
Yeah, if they make for the Wii.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, they still make Just Dance games for that. It's usually FIFA or Just Dance, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can believe that, because usually those types of annualized games, they're pretty, I guess, easy to make. I mean, fucking for EA's sports games, they just update the roster and call it a day.
Just Dance 2020 will still come out on the Wii.
It's the only game coming out on Wii this year. I guess there might be like some super obscure games coming out on the Wii, like still.
Yeah.
That like nobody knows about.
That one dude who's been working in his basement for 8 years creating that ultimate Wii game.
Yeah,
I really want to know
it. I bet that at some point, like, as we saw with like pixel art games, they had like a resurgence, and now the indie market is just flooded with pixel art games. I want to believe that in like 20 years, the Wii is gonna have like a similar resurgence, where it's so easy to develop games for the Wii, and it still has those motion controls that work. So people would just start like indie dev like for the Wii.
Yeah. I know that there are still people that even make like physical games for like the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Like you can still buy physical copies of brand new games for those old consoles. I think the last one I remember coming out was Battle Kid in the Fortress of Peril. It was an NES game that just came out in like 2012 or 2013, and a shop that I went to actually had a physical copy of it for sale. It was cool as hell.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I guess like at the end of the day, like, why could you not develop a game for any console, like past console? Like, nothing stops you, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, there's nothing that's stopping like Nintendo from just being like, hey, we decided to put out an NES game. That would be hilarious. I would love that. That would be great.
I mean, they already sold us the mini NES and mini SNES. True.
And then the mini SNES did have a never before seen game, so I guess that's had Star Fox 2 on it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Funny.
So you guys want to talk about Gunfire Reborn?
Hell yeah.
We've all played it.
Yeah, shockingly good. I was not
Have you, Joe,
expecting.
played it solo yet, or just?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I've played a few missions solo. I haven't gotten very far. I think I've only beat the Luwu once solo, if that. But yeah, I have played it solo a little bit.
Isn't it a lot easier just playing solo?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's definitely a lot different. There's the number of enemies and how long it takes to kill whenever you're at more than one person is insane. It's
Yeah.
such a bigger difference. Like on one player, you can almost one shot in the first level anyway. You can almost one shot everything by a shot to the head, unless it has like armor or shield, and then it's just two. But in 2 or 3 players, it's exponential. Even like at 3 players, even the little guys that just have bombs for heads, those can't be killed by a one shot to the head. It's like, gosh, that makes Luwu really tough at 3 people. Whenever you have to worry about hitting those guys 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of disappointing to snipe if you have like more than 2 people, because just the sniper just doesn't kill them when you hit them in the head. They're supposed to die.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull up some footage for chat to watch. Guess I could skip the tutorial level here. Blammo, here we go.
I do like I really enjoy the amount of customization you have in it. Just because like there's a lot of different paths you can do, and it's not like in Monster Train, where in this it gives you like an equal opportunity to go whichever path you go, like whichever path you want to go. So like the last time I played it, I was playing with Rose, and I went like on the elemental route, and I got the glimmering and the prism, and then my glimmering got a buff that if they were burning, it did 50% more damage, and if they were decaying, it did 50% more damage. And then I had 120% burning damage. It was just silly. And it was awesome. That was the best I had done in that game, and it was with Lil Shuriken.
To explain to people what this game first of all is, it's called Gunfire Reborn. It's a game you can play with up to 4 people. Play solo too. It's kind of hard to explain, but I would say that it's a mix between Borderlands and Isaac, where every run is quote unquote unique. It's a procedurally generated, and on the way you get new guns. That's where the Borderlands kind of thing comes in. The guns have randomized kind of stats, a la Borderlands, but the amount of guns is not in anywhere near the realm of Borderlands. And then you go through like level from level, hit a boss, and then you go to the next area and do the same thing.
Yeah, I really like how they, like, since this is, I don't know, beta at most, that they didn't make it like an easy game. You just can't like play 10 games and basically be over with it. But you actually have to grind and grind. I'm at like level 38 or something, and I think the game has like, I don't know, like 70 levels, I think. And it really takes time to get there to just unlock everything, which is kind of cool, because I thought it would be like, oh, I'm gonna play this game for 20 hours and then it's like done. I've unlocked everything. But no.
Yeah, there's character progression in between the runs that make your character permanently better. That's, I think, the true progression of the game. Whereas within a run, you get these relics, I guess, or whatever I actually don't remember what they call them. Essentially, relics that alter the run that you're having, so you can focus on elemental damage or ability damage or the nade things. Those are not like persistent from run to run, but within the run.
So this is kind of like roguelite, not roguelike.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were like discussing whether it's roguelite or roguelike.
Yeah, I don't remember who I was talking with, but we were trying to like, and I think I might have said this, that I hate those types of discussions where we're talking about semantics, like whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a roguelite. And
yeah, the game still has like some trouble like explaining itself from time to time. For instance, I have no idea. Does the poison do more damage to enemies with barrier or armor? Like, I'm not sure which one it is because the game doesn't like explain it very well. And same with the ability. There's like a scroll that says something like, "This will increase your damage output in your secondary skill." Which one is the secondary skill? The grenade or the energy ball? Which one is it?
Or the gun's secondary skill.
Yeah, or that one. I don't know.
I did finally get a random tutorial that popped up the other day whenever I was like in the sand level. So it wasn't even at the beginning of the game, where it finally did tell me that the decay did more damage to characters with armor. It was the most. It just showed up across the bottom of the screen for like 10 seconds and went away. I don't know what I did to trigger it, but I got one little tutorial scroll, so that was nice.
Nice.
Yeah. The only thing is I think there's a lot of things in it that give away that it is still early access and still pretty early beta. Like this level, or like this room, you go through this room every single time. That's kind of like the only thing is it is roguelike, that it's different, but there are certain things that you see every single time, and this room is one of them. The contents of this room might be different, but the rooms always seem to be roughly the same.
I think they have like more variation on like the upcoming levels, because I've seen like different. For instance, when you enter the sand level the first time, there's like 3 exits.
Mm-hmm.
You can use only one of them, or like one of them is open after you kill all the enemies. So I think
the sand levels also seem more random, because like in the first area, everything's so blocky, whereas the sand levels, the arenas are more, they feel like they're more of just a circle a lot of times, so they feel more random to me.
Yeah.
Also, it might be that they kind of are like random, but you have to go through every single room. For instance, in the sand one, you have to go to every single place, but in random orders, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the case, because I feel like I go through every single room every single time.
Yeah. I'm not real sure if that's how it works, but the only thing I noticed was that big room back there is always the last room, or is always in the last level of the first set of levels. You always go through that room on the 5th level every single time. I've only been to the sand level 3 times, I think. So I definitely don't have enough experience with it to say, but you will go through that last one every single time.
Have you made it to the 3rd one?
I have, yeah. Whenever I had the God run with the glimmering and the prism, I actually made it all the way to, I think we made it to the boss and just instantly died.
Yeah, the 3rd boss is crazy.
Yeah.
And the 2nd boss is outright stupid because it's so hard to hit him in the mouth.
That's where
I can't believe that I beat the first boss like on my second boss on my first go. I played solo.
That's awesome.
I like completely tanked his attacks.
Did you test the theory that if the sandworm hits on the right side, you have to like dash through it? Or no? Okay.
No, the last time, the game that Rose and I played where we beat him, I had just a really good setup that game. I had the superior joggers, or whatever they are, the boots that reduce your dash cooldown by 50%, and then I also had the occult scroll that gave me 3 dashes. So whenever he did it, I just outran the laser. I had a really good setup.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
Yeah. And then I didn't have an issue with his weak spot either, because I had the prism, which goes through enemies. So I just had to get directly behind him, and then I just hit him in his weak spot through his back.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was a really good run, and then we died. Like that's the first time Rose had made it past Luwu and made it into the second world, and we made it all the way through the second one and most of the way through the third one.
Also,
Game's really
I don't
good,
know
though.
if you have, I don't know if you have noticed, but the bosses gets harder the low health they have, or lower their health is. Except the sandworm, of course, because it's so much easier because it doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
But for instance, the third boss gets like outright stupid because you have to like dodge cannonballs dropping from the sky, and it's gonna spawn enemies, and you're gonna have to run around and shoot the boss and the minions. it's so crazy. I almost made it through, but no.
Rip. Yeah,
Definitely a good game, though. I do recommend. It is in
I'll be
early
playing.
access, though, so that's obviously keep in mind.
I think it might be like Korean or Chinese. I'm not sure which one the text we saw earlier.
Yeah, it's a Chinese. Yeah, there is still, to keep in mind, it is still definitely early access. We were doing a mission and it still had the text in Chinese. So
Made in Hong Kong.
There you go.
Definitely worth it. I do recommend.
Yeah, for $12, I think it was. That's I would easily pay double that for that game. I would have no problem at all playing $20 to $25 for that game. And for it to be $12, that's astonishing. It's wild.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I can talk about the DC games that we saw over the weekend, because that stuff was actually pretty sick. Because
yeah.
So we got a couple trailers, and one of them is much further off than I was hoping it would be. Because we got the trailer for Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and Batman or Gotham Knights. That's what it is. Gotham Knights game.
Isn't there already a Gotham Knights game?
There's Arkham Knight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this the Batman game without
because
Batman?
North asked that question just reinforces my thought that it's a stupid name because people confuse Arkham Knight and Gotham Knights.
Yeah. I think whenever I was talking to someone else about it, I even called it Arkham Knight like the entire conversation, and they also didn't pick up on it. So yeah, it's
could have chose any other name. Any other.
Yeah.
Imagine that kid who wants to like buy it and ends up buying the wrong game.
Yeah.
It's even developed by Rocksteady themselves. They fucking made Arkham Knight. It's come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a stupid thing.
I think it's just because people know the name, so they will just buy because it's Arkham Knight or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gotham Knights looks pretty okay though so far. Like, I mean, I am prone to criticize it a little bit because it reeks of games as a service, but you can play it alone or you can play it up with one buddy. I think it is co-op, but I don't know if it's 2-player or 4-player.
I've never been huge
for dudes you can play as.
Oh, I've never been a huge like Superman type of single player games. Like the first and probably the last that I've played is like the first Spider-Man game.
Nice.
But ever since then, like, nah.
Yeah, they're unfortunately most superhero games, and this is maybe what made it. I don't actually know what year Arkham Asylum came out. So the bad thing about most superhero games nowadays, and they are bad in the past too, is that they're just made for cash in. Like they don't actually want to make a game; they just want to make money. So it all comes out very mediocre. But there's not a Gotham Knights movie to base it off of, and none of those characters are actually in any cinematic universe right now, except maybe some of the CW garbage. But we don't have a Red Hood, Nightwing, Robin, or Batgirl floating around, so they aren't tainted by someone else's impression. And none of the Suicide Squad one is a little worrying, but just from the cinematic, it's going to be much higher superhero than the movie, so hopefully it won't be that.
Wait, are you saying that you can play as Batman?
Yeah, and we got 2 Batman related games, and you can't play Batman in either one of them.
Oh yeah, so, you fucked up.
So the premise of the Gotham Knights is Batman just died. We don't know why, and he had to blow up the Batcave. And the trailer is like a montage of his essentially his goodbye video playing to those 4 people, which I assume would be Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian, and Barbara. So depending on which Nightwing and Batman they use, but and it's all them suiting up. So I'm assuming those are the 4 players, and hopefully it is a 4-player game. That would be sick. But probably not, because I'm sure it's going to be just an Arkham Asylum knockoff, which is a stealth game, so you can't really have a ton of people in a stealth game.
They showed in the gameplay trailer the whoever demoed it played as Batgirl, and Robin was there too. They mentioned that you can tackle any mission alone or with a buddy. And apparently they all 4 characters have like character specific kind of main quests that they do. And I believe you can then have like somebody come in and do co-op with you. But I'm not super sure if you could do like 4 people. But I bet that Batman is in the game, because I do know that they based the game off of the Court of Owls storyline. Not gonna spoil anything, but I've not read it or anything. I do believe that there's gonna be a Batman in the Batman game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Batman fan, so I've not read that. Despite being able to list all 4 of his sidekicks by their real name, I'm not that much of a Batman fan, so I didn't read the Court of Owls thing. So I don't know. But I believe the Court of Owls storyline, I say right after not, but I think that's the one that had the Joker where he cut off his own face and then held it back on with rubber bands and hooks. So you might see that. He at one point, to convince Batman that he died, he actually cut off his own face and then put it back on for a little while. But I don't know if that's also involved in the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like all the comic art that I've seen and what I'm looking at right now does not feature Joker anywhere.
And it may have just been around that same time. It's been a long time. I think that all those storylines started right around the New 52, so it's been like 7 or 8 years since that storyline.
But I know which image you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Do what, North?
Isn't like Batman and Joker like the balance? If one of them dies, the other one dies too, you know?
Well, that's the idea, but anytime Batman disappears, the Joker actually gets more insane because he doesn't have a Batman. So he's actually more dangerous, not because Batman's not there to stop him, but because he's not there to be stopped by Batman. Like, if that makes sense. Like, the violence isn't going down whenever Batman's around because he's being stopped. He's going around because he's entertaining the Joker by stopping him. Like, that's how it's kind of a two-pronged thing. They have a very complicated relationship.
Yeah, I mean, Joker is a pretty complicated character in the first place.
Yeah, we don't even know Joker's real name in the comics. Still,
I hope we never know.
The one time Batman sat down at Monitor's throne, and the Monitor knows everything. And he sat down. He was like, "What's the Joker's real name?" And the response he got was, "Which one?" And then that's where the comic ended. And I don't read Batman, so I didn't follow it up. But I was like, oh, that's nuts.
Oh, that's pretty nuts. I got like
honestly,
a little excited there.
Yeah.
Joker's real name is Edward McAllister. I've heard that too, and apparently it's just bullshit.
Yeah, they've given him Joe Chill, literally Joe Kerr, like Joekerr. He's had tons of names over the years.
I believe, like from like an IRL spot, I believe that nobody who writes those stories, or well, primarily those who writes those stories, I don't think anyone wants to take that mantle upon themselves to give a name to Joker.
Yeah, that's a big decision.
I mean, who would feel like they have the right to do that?
Yeah. And I think anybody who does feel that way would get immediate backlash just from the entire internet, would just immediately say, who the fuck are you?
Batman's real name is Bruce Banner. We're getting all the spoilers here.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
But the Suicide Squad, unfortunately, we didn't get too much about the Suicide Squad. We only got we didn't get any gameplay. We did get some gameplay in the Gotham Knights, which was pretty nice to see. It was just a cinematic though. Yeah, Jack Napier, that was one of them.
The Suicide Squad trailer, even though it was just the CGI trailer, I was kind of entertained by it. I thought it was a good trailer.
Yeah. And that's what. Go ahead.
If the banter between the characters is that in the game, and if they have like a real story, fuck, it could be a good game.
Yeah, it could be, and there's a lot of implications in that cinematic that could. I mean, like the big squid guy in the background is Brainiac, and a lot of people know who Brainiac is, but they don't know that Brainiac is actually, his goal is to destroy the universe. So the fact that you're playing the Suicide Squad, which is like a C-level team most of the time, and you're gonna possibly fight Brainiac is pretty exciting. Because the reason Brainiac wants to destroy the universe is he wants to know everything, and he can't know everything because everything is changing. But if there's nothing left to change, he can know everything. Like that's literally, so the reason he wants to study everything about the planet Earth, and then once he has amassed all known knowledge, he's just going to blow up the planet so that nothing could change, so that he'll always know everything. And that's what he wants to do for the entire universe.
That's a pretty big goal.
Yeah. I mean, he's, we're not the first planet he went to. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
In both Marvel and DC, I feel like there's certain characters that are just beyond godlike, and I don't know how much they've explored those characters in like the comics, because I mean, I think it's every time you introduce a character who goes by, like, I think Marvel has some character that literally could just destroy everything like this, and no one could ever stop that character. It's like, why does that character exist? What kind of tension could that character like even have?
They're plot devices. They're not characters. Those are plot devices. Like that. That's why those are written. Yeah. I mean, they don't have any, like, one of those characters is actually Mr. Fantastic's son. Reed Richards' son is so powerful he could just unmake the universe. And then there's one guy that is called the One Above All, and he's essentially capital G God. And everyone thinks it's just Stan Lee. That's like the running joke. But he could also just unmake the universe. So yeah, there's several of them, and most of the time they're just there for plot devices. Most of the time they don't really have any tension or development or anything like that.
I mean, I feel like in like a self-contained story, I think those characters would be kind of bad, because I mean, even Superman has like a weakness. It's like his kryptonite is kryptonite or whatever. So I mean, even Superman has like a weakness. But if you strip that weakness away from Superman, then he could literally be God of Earth. and nobody could ever stop him. So even in like, and I might be like unintentionally shitting here, but it's not my intent. Like even with Batman v Superman, from the outset, I'm like, is this even fair? At all?
So there's Superman is 100% of the time, the way that Superman is written, Superman is 100% of the time, I don't care who he's fighting, unless it's Doomsday, he is always pulling his punches. Because he could split the planet in half with one hand. It was like they at one point they measured his strength in a comic and it was like 220 million gigatons or something. He was basically lifting the sun. And there are other universes where he is evil. Like one, he's not Superman, he's Ultraman. And he took over that planet because one day he just flew up into the atmosphere and he said, hey, do whatever I say and surrender or else. And they're like, or else what? So he sat in space and with his eye beams started blowing up nations' capitals. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do against that? Like, there's nothing. He just sat in space, and because he also has telescopic vision, he was just like, yeah, the president of Uruguay. What do you do to that? 100% of the time, Batman or Superman is pulling his punches. If anyone that says Batman can beat Superman hasn't actually read a Superman comic, for sure. Because it like, well, he could just use kryptonite. From space, dude. From space.
It feels.
Oh god.
Like he could survive Superman. I have no doubt that Batman, if he wanted to, he could hide away and not die. But there's no way he could kill him.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know like why Superman was created. I can feel like, especially like those old comics were like a direct response to like America being in in Vietnam, and it was something like for the nation to have like take the mind off of the shitty things. I mean, literally this character called Captain America who like punches Nazis in the face. So I mean the imagery is pretty clear, I think. And I want to believe that Superman was also created as like kind of this perfect kind of dude who was just a role model for everyone in a sense, and like strive to be like Superman, who's just
hell yeah, he has like his white collar job, and then he just takes it off and beats bad guys.
And he even has like glasses on, so even like respect nerds and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what happens when I take my glasses off.
Oh my god, let's not piss off North here.
Yeah, and that is what his whole point. And the best Superman stories is the ones that he's not even being Superman. Like, well, he is being Superman, but he's not being super, he's just being man. Like there's one where this woman's sitting up on a ledge and she's about to kill herself. And she just floats up there and she's like, are you just going to take me down? He was like, no, I'm not going to. She said, well, you're just going to catch me if I jump. He said, no, I'm not going to do that either. It's your life. You can do what you want with it. And he just talks to her through whatever she's going through. And that has touched me more than any. I mean, you can beat Doomsday up all day, but it won't matter as much as like those kind of scenes with Superman. Those are the ones that he's actually super, in my opinion. Anyway, Suicide Squad's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I got real deep there for a moment.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, the Suicide Squad game, I hope, and it does have like the witty banner, and that's what they do. It should be good if they can keep up that same kind of aura, feeling through the whole game, that kind of mood. Then it'll actually be really good, because that's what they do in the comics too. Is they just constantly pick on each other and bicker and fight and threaten to kill each other and stuff. And I'm glad that they did go like high-end superhero on this and didn't try to scale it down, because Captain Boomerang is really, really funny. And
Captain Boomerang, is that a thing?
Yeah, Captain Boomerang. Oh my goodness, yeah, dude. Captain Boomerang's the man. Yeah.
I thought it was Captain America. I thought you were referring to him because he has
there's
his...
so many fucking captains in those comics.
Oh yeah. And there's so many captains just in like Flash villains, which is where Captain Boomerang comes from. But yeah, it's Captain Boomerang. He has like these boomerangs that just never miss, and he has minor super speed.
That's
and
awesome.
They didn't have his super speed at all in the movie because he didn't have superpowers in the movie. But in the trailer, the first thing he does is zip in to throw somebody. It's good. I'm just real happy with what I saw. I hope that we see more than just those 4 members, but I doubt we will. I'm sure they'll just keep it to the thing that they've got.
Yeah, I feel like from like a development standpoint, I think that if you increase the amount of characters, there's a real chance that you can't have a personality for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might have something similar. I think it was some sort of like Marvel, what's it called? Like those street fighting games, but it was like Marvel characters, and they didn't have like all the characters, but they would have like a combo thing, and someone who wasn't part of the game just popped up out of nowhere and did something.
It's one of those fighting games?
Yeah, I think.
Are you talking about Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that one.
Hmm.
I think that one had something similar. Like basically have, I don't know, they're in a pinch and someone who's not currently playable character just comes in and beats the guys up or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. They do have in those games they have like a an assist guy, I think is what they're called.
Yeah.
Assist. Yeah,
I think it's same with the Super Smash Brothers.
You get assist trophies, but there was like a different thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's the same idea. You just kind of summon somebody that isn't playable. For sure. Yeah.
From what I understood, though, the Suicide game is not going to be any sort of fighting game. It's going to be like a story based.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can really like think that what it's going to be is like the Avengers game that's coming out. But
yeah.
Who knows?
How about is it going to be on PC only consoles?
I don't know that they
next
said.
gen. I'm assuming. I mean, it's Warner Brothers, so I'm assuming they're gonna release that on everything, except the Switch. Probably whatever the Xbox called, Xbox Series X and PS5 and PC.
Yeah. The downside, it doesn't come out until 2022.
Yeah, that actually it surprised me that they did announce it, because the trend right now is for companies to announce these things relatively close to the release date. So for them to go like not even like 2021 is something like I consider to be like the absolute like back end if you're gonna announce something, but 2022 is kind of I don't really understand.
Yeah. I feel like at that point they should have, if it's going to be that far out, you should just have like a general term like coming soon or something. Like that's a long time to already start teasing stuff for.
Yeah, how are you going to make me wait 2 years?
Yeah. How do you know it's going to be done in 2 years? I don't trust them enough. I don't trust their judgment. I know how game devs work.
They better have like 4 movies before that.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out in November this year. It was originally announced in May 2012.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Way back in 2012, The Witcher 3 wasn't even like it hadn't come out at that point. They announced this game before Witcher 3 was ready and released.
Did you say it got pushed back to May?
No, it's coming out in November, but it was released in May 2012.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, man, did it get pushed back again?
I don't believe they're gonna push it anymore. And I mean, okay, The Last of Us 2 already, they ramped up their marketing heavily, and then they literally like a week later they pushed it. But CD Projekt also, they understand that the game's gonna come out on current gen. They can't push it because then it's gonna come out only on current gen when the next gen is out. I don't think they're gonna do it.
it kind of makes sense if they release PS5 in November. Now that you think about it, if there's so many games releasing that time, no?
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
what
kinda.
date in November did it get pushed back to? Do you know offhand? If not, I can
November 19th.
Well,
It's pretty close.
Yeah. PS4, Windows, Xbox One, November 19th. And this is what I mean. They can't push it beyond that because when the new consoles come out, that's when you don't release stuff for the PS4 and Xbox One anymore. Like, who the fuck is gonna buy that? I mean, I am, but but not on console.
There's gonna be people who won't get the new console right away.
I understand that, but I mean, November is it's the back end, the deadline for releasing shit on current gen. I guarantee you that. Obviously, there's gonna be games for PS4 and Xbox One in the future, mainly the annualized stuff and some other things, but a high profile release is a little bit different.
I'm shocked that we're getting this close and to the end of the year and we still don't know when they're coming out.
Oh yeah.
Like I normally they'd be pre-ordered by now. Like this is kind of crazy that we're only potentially 3 months away from it being released and we still can't even order it.
Yep.
They're really beefing us here.
It's like that. What's kind of weird is that it really feels like both Sony and Microsoft are like staring each other down at like a gun barrels and like see who pulls the trigger first.
Man, I think you're right. I think they are. They're just waiting. But hopefully that just means that we win in the end.
Because what you're saying, it's so fucking true. Like, can you even pre-order this? Like, is that possible?
No, there's no pre-order listings. We still don't even have a price. We don't know. We don't even have a price for them. Well, we might have the one. Do we have the price for the Xbox?
I don't think so.
No, the fridge has no no price, and
we are 3 months from December. We are 3 months from December, so deep into the holiday season, and we still don't even have a price. That's mind-boggling that they haven't given us anything yet.
That's fucking crazy.
Like there's no way it's going to come out for the holiday season. It's going to be a cluster if it does. It is way too, like, even if they released it now, I feel like that's too late.
Because there's no price and there's no release date. I really feel like they're just staring down each other and waiting who chickens out first.
Why not just like be the first one? Because you're not gonna pick the second one if you already pre-ordered the first one.
I'll tell you. I'm Sony. Okay, the PS5 is coming out November 20th and its price is $500. And then Microsoft is, yo! Xbox Series X, November 15th, $300. Boom. Xbox wins.
Yeah, but you gotta release it faster. Make it so that Xbox can possibly release before that.
You can put it 1 day before Sony. and $100 or $200 lower. And obviously,
I don't even know if it needs to be that much. I bet it could be like 50.
Yeah. But it's always been like that. People still buy PlayStation because it's PlayStation.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I know what they're waiting for. I just don't know why they're waiting so long. Like you said, it's also beneficial just to be the first one. Yeah, sometimes it's beneficial to be the cheaper one. But I feel like at this point, you've already made up your mind. Like most people, I guess I'm speaking as a 30-year-old man, but I'm not gonna buy an Xbox, even if it is $200
Yeah.
cheaper.
I also think that we have like extensive knowledge of these things. Like maybe the suburban mom, maybe not, just wants to like their kid to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Now, in those cases, that's where they're gonna get the sales, is the suburban moms. They're gonna get the sales on those because it's cheaper, for
Yeah.
sure. Because they don't actually care what console it is. They just want to get it cheap.
Mm.
But I mean, as far as like the hardcore crowd, being first is definitely beneficial, 100%.
But if the kid knows what's up, he's gonna pick the PlayStation.
I feel like the kid picks the console that's the dominant console in the kid's school or whatever to play with friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will be the cheaper one 9 times out of 10. So unless
Johnny from the rich family decides to fucking go with the PlayStation, motherfucker.
that's what I was just thinking, is like, how much are people gonna be shamed because they got the cheaper console?
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid and I had a PlayStation, like neighbor from a few blocks down had an Xbox, and he would like come say like, "Come play Xbox," so I'm like, "Nah,
Fuck that."
no, fuck that."
Yeah, I remember being made fun of a little bit because I played the N64. I remember that, like, getting Smash Brothers and being so excited for it, and then I got made fun of because it wasn't a PlayStation.
Oh man.
I was like, F off, this is a great game. I still never got a PlayStation.
Son.
Now I get PlayStation though, F Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't need a $500 secondary PC. I'm fine.
Glorified media center.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like I still, and this, I think this applies mostly to us because I mean we do so much of this. The Xbox is just, it's not for us. And even with like, there was some Sony executive that said a couple weeks back that they've virtually like approached every studio on Earth for like exclusives, something ridiculous like that. That obviously they're not gonna get everything, but Microsoft is not doing that, so Sony wins in my head.
Yeah. If you have, I mean, that's, if you have the better exclusive, because that's what it's all about. If it's not people like us, if it's not exclusive, then it's just going to be PC. If a game can be on the PC, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to play it on the PC. I have a PlayStation 4 controller that I can hook up to my computer if I want to play something on a console controller. Why do I need, So I really only buy exclusives on those because most of my friends also do the same thing. So
because it's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, buy a $500 console so you can play exclusives only.
Hell yeah! If those exclusives are good, it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for Bloodborne.
Yeah, I have it, and it's tough. It kicked my ass. I haven't played in a very long time. But yeah, Sony is winning it.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel about it too.
I think the only good thing about the Xbox, and this is probably the more I think about it, the more I think it is pretty good for people that aren't like us, that don't build their own PC or buy high-end stuff, so they can, because it does have so much even like cross-play these days between Xbox and PC games. So I guess if you look at it like that, it's not so bad, but the Xbox 100% is no longer for us. It is for a different market share. And I'm glad.
Imagine you buy it like Xbox and you go play Call of Duty, whatever, Cold War, and if it's multiplayer, you're gonna get shit on because there's gonna be people using mouse and keyboard, and you're gonna have the absolute worst time ever.
Yeah.
I was watching a streamer. His name is Jericho. He plays Counter-Strike from time to time, and if there's anyone who doesn't know, Counter-Strike is only on PC, but you can't play it with a controller. So he played Counter-Strike with a controller, and if anyone ever thinks that it's controller versus keyboard and mouse, it's super equal, fuck you. You don't even know what you're talking about. he got shit on so fucking hard. And his goal was to get a kill with the controller. I mean, he did manage.
Hey, goal accomplished.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's a W. I don't think there's any better example than like game developers actually compensating for that. And it does happen. I think I've brought it up once or twice before, is in Overwatch on the console, Torbjorn's turrets lock onto you slower to give you a better chance to turn to start shooting back. So they actually shoot and lock on slower because you can't move that fast with a controller.
Like I think there's a little difference there, because I think the newest COD, like the BR one, has a so good aim assist. If you play on like PlayStation, you can like smash the aim ADS button and it will like follow someone running and always hit the head if you just smash it. You don't even have to aim. You just like smash the ADS button and the aim assist will do the aiming for you.
It's almost like aimbotting.
Yeah,
it's like aimbotting, but because you're a console pleb.
Seems like that's a thing that they should fix in the game, among other things.
It's like aimbotting, but okay for some reason.
Yeah, for console plebs.
For console plebs, yeah. That's wild. Yeah, I mean, there is no comparison between controller and keyboard. I think that's the people who try to say there is they're just silly. Like if you take people of equal caliber, like at their points, like if you take the top player on a controller and the top player on a mouse and keyboard, 100 times out of 100, I guarantee that mouse and keyboard is going to beat that guy. I mean, if they are at like the same skill levels on their medium, 100 times out of 100, I can't see a controller guy ever beating a keyboard and mouse.
That's not to say that controller players are any less than what we are, although they might a little bit be.
I mean, it's just mechanical. I mean, their skill isn't worse. They are limited. Like, I can move my hand really fast, and that makes my mouse move really fast. I can't move my thumb over. I mean, what?
Yeah.
That's top speed.
I would call it like playing with a first-person shooter with a controller. I call it a handicap. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is slower on a controller. Everything.
There is like a reason why every single first-person shooter except Call of Duty is played on PC in esports. That is because PC is just better.
For sure.
That was DC Fandom.
Yeah, DC Fandom. Mouse and keyboard's better.
All right, who wants to go next with something?
North, what have you been playing lately? Anything?
I've been playing mostly Tarkov still, but my girlfriend has been playing Sims 4, I believe. And I learned this crazy thing that they actually have like a radio that plays actual music, but the lyrics are in like Sims language, like Simlish. And it's mind-boggling to like trying to listen to that. And yours truly, our favorite boy, Soldier Boy, actually made a song to Sims 3. And if you don't like his music at all, you're gonna have even worse time with his song. And apparently they have like a shit ton of songs that have these type of lyrics. Like, I know Katy Perry has made a song there, and Paramore, and Jason Derulo, all the big artists have done that.
Are the artists making these songs, or is it just like EA taking the songs and taking the lyrics out?
I'm pretty sure they actually made themselves. I posted the Soulja Boy's song in the Discord if you want to listen to it. But there's like a bunch of like more artists that actually do this. I don't know how much do you have to like pay someone to do that. Like, all right, You're gonna do your song, but you're gonna speak in gibberish.
We're gonna all listen to this chat now.
I feel like this is what rap sounds like to boomers.
Like the original version was like okay, but this is like I can't listen to this.
That's so good. I feel like that's what rap music sounds like to people over the age of 60. Are you listening to it now, Tom?
Yeah. Chat is hearing it too.
Guys watch the array like ZG. Ross Obley hit the zoo, wax OD. My memory on repeat, Wayne Cody. Oh, I can't.
It's so wild how it sounds. It sounds like music, but it's not. Dude, that sounds like her. That has to. They have to have actually paid these artists to play in Simlish.
It sounds like real words, though. I'm gonna put the Paramore thing on. That's fine. This video on YouTube's gonna get fucking flagged for sure.
That's so crazy. Someone said they learned the song in Simlish before English. Yeah, someone in the comments said it was actually made by Paramount.
I don't know, like, how much does EA have to pay for them to actually do that song?
What the hell?
I love it. I love everything about what's happening here. This is like, this is basically Kids Bop but drug version. Like this is.
There's like a lot of them. Like I said, there's like Katy Perry, Jason Derulo, and all that stuff. Like,
so I'm assuming EA just pays these artists a shitload of money.
Probably, yeah.
Or they pay the license for the song and then they scramble the words.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they like actually willingly do it.
Yeah, I almost feel like they do it because there's certain words that I've heard like in other Simlish things, so I don't know.
Fucking weird.
I love it. I love that exists. That's amazing.
Fucking
that they
weird.
went through that much trouble to re-record a whole song's vocals in a language that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean they probably get paid pretty well. Probably, at least I'm assuming just the vocalist comes in and does it. Probably
yeah, for instance, there's a video of Katy Perry doing Last Friday Night in Simlish in the studio.
What the hell?
I'm dying.
This is amazing. Like my mind was blown today when I heard this.
Don't worry, chat, you're gonna hear it.
Oh my god, dude.
But it's a
I never knew this existed.
Oh
But it's
my
a
gosh, that's so
no.
perfect.
But it's
I can't believe that. That's one of the best things I've ever heard. Honestly.
Yeah. Why didn't I know this exists?
That's wild.
What
I have
Yarmy
to tell
dental
everyone I
table
know.
dupes, eBay duke mini shoes, hippie keeps the upper goop.
It's so good.
But yeah, we're gonna get
Yarmy
flagged.
dental table
Yeah,
dupes,
for sure.
eBay duke mini shoes, hippie
Yeah,
keeps
now it
the
picks
upper
up.
goop. Yarmy dental table dupes, eBay duke mini shoes, hipsy kicky waka whoop. Yarmy dental table dupes, eBay duke mini shoes, hippie keeps the upper goop.
I'm so fucking blown away by this shit.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy.
I love
Fuck,
it.
today I learned.
Like the first thing that I heard that they like actual artists do this, I instantly went to like Google and Soldier Boy. Simlish. And I was so happy that I actually found it because we
man.
talk about Soldier Boy every now and then.
That's so good. That should just be our intro song. That should be how we start every stream. It's just the Simlish version We
I
need to find
wonder-
if these are somehow free to use because they're not
wonder-
the actual song.
I wonder if I get flagged though because it's not the original version. It's Simlish.
Would
Yeah, I don't know.
would that count as a cover? Like of your own song?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, even if it were like legal use, I'd still just get flagged. I mean,
Yeah.
the first video that got flagged was with the KSP2 trailer, and that was fair use because I showed a trailer, like under
Yeah.
fair use laws, and I still get hit. So, who cares about rules, laws, and regulations?
Nobody.
Nobody,
really.
fucking nobody. least of all, Google and YouTube.
You're right.
Anywho,
So what about you, Tom? What have you been messing with? I'm gonna say it's gonna be hard to keep up with Simlish Katy Perry though.
it's it is. I recognize that. It's okay, don't worry about it. Pony Island is a game that I have played. I have recommended Pony Island to a lot of people. I think Joe is the person who has mostly been on the receiving end of me telling Joe to play Pony Island. Possibly.
I played it because you recommended it.
I'm done recommending Pony Island.
Dang.
I won't do it anymore.
Why's that?
The most unfortunate part with Pony Island is the fact that it's named Pony Island. People don't believe me when I say it's a good game. And I know, Sully, this is the last time. And I've come to the realization. Last week I told the streamer, because the streamer asked like chat, what should he play after he finishes this game? He was playing Evil Within, and I said there's one game I recommend, Pony Island. And his first response was, "Haha, is that even a real game?" And I'm like, "Sweet summer child, you don't even know." And because he's a small streamer, I wrote my next message just explaining that I'm not joking. I think it's a very good game. I'm not gonna say anything about the game because it's an experience. And because he's a small streamer, he can only read the latest message in chat. And because my message was this much higher from the first message, he missed it. I'm making a joke about small streamers being absolutely horrible streamers because they can't fucking read chat. So yeah, and that led me down this rabbit hole in my own head. I will not recommend Pony Island anymore because Pony Island was an experience for me. And my experience is unique, and your experience will not be the same as my experience. There's a bunch of other games that fall into the same category. Gris is one, the Hex I would say is one, One Shot is one of those games. There's probably some other games that I just don't remember right now. And those are they're specific kinds of games for me, and why they hit for me very hard, I tried to figure it out for myself. And I believe that because they are, all of those games are very melancholic. Is that a real word? I know melancholy is a real word. And some of those games are more akin to tragedies. One Shot specifically ends on an extreme tragedy. And I'm not gonna spoil the ending. I do recommend One Shot too. Not gonna sit every day and say it, but it's a good game. And I understand that I like those games because they strike an emotional chord with me. Because I don't know, I'm a sad fucker, I guess, and because I'm Finnish, and we love melancholy over here. We revel in that crap, I guess. And And that leads me to talk about the game that I played, but did not finish because I did not have time. Played Spiritfarer. It's a game that's available on Steam and Xbox Game Pass.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It would make a great drinking game if you would have like a one drink every time someone says Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do shill out on for Xbox Game Pass so fucking much.
It's a good service. What are you
It
gonna
is.
do? Support what's good.
So, based on what I just said about especially Pony Island and how I'm done recommending that game because of how I view the game, Spiritfarer is a game that I don't recommend. But ask anyone else and they will recommend that game for you guys. It sits on overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It sits on, 90 on Metacritic from professional reviewers. And because the game is not reviewed on Metacritic so much, it's probably 60 still, with a grand total of like 8 reviews and one dude who absolutely hated it, which tanks the review score. But what is Spiritfarer? You play as I don't even remember what you play as Stella. And Stella is chosen to be the Spiritfarer, which essentially is the boatman who transports souls to the underworld. But it's done in this very cutesy way. And everything is sunshine and happiness. The game tries its goddamn hardest to strike an emotional chord with the player. And that is where it falls flat for me. Because it is the type of emotional chord that it misses completely.
Happiness?
Yes. I'm being serious. I can't stand it. I can't stand it that everyone's chippy, and I can't stand it that everyone is just happy. Can't stand the fact that a game mechanic in the game is that you can hug everyone. And everything's just love and in the air and stuff. I can't stand it. So it clearly misses the mark for me. And that's why I don't recommend it. But I don't want to be the authority to say to people to not play this game. Because what they've done, on a technical level, it's very good. No crashes, no bugs, no hitches, no glitches. On a gameplay level, it's a management game at its core. You're on this boat and you go from place to place. You gather your spirits that you're supposed to transport to the afterlife. You do quests for them. You build your boat. All of that works. There's nothing wrong with it. But the overall story that's happening at the center of it just misses the mark completely. For me. But I am clearly in the minority of that. And it is very pretty to look at. Has that very hand-drawn, like, kind of art style.
I mean, that's just part of having preferences, I guess. I don't think that means you should stop recommending games, though. Pony Island is a very criminally underplayed game.
Yeah, and I still want to say that if you go to someone's Twitch chat and you say, the streamer's like, hey, what should I play next? They assume that you're like saying something that's probably good and something they already know. That's what they're looking for. Something that they know, oh, that's probably good. Maybe I should play because this guy told me. And most of the time when you read something in Twitch chat, you gotta take it not with only grain of salt. You gotta take the whole fucking bag because you never know if Sully's gonna be there like trolling you around, like it was just a real little troll or something like that.
But see, the fucked up
and
part is that 9 out of 10 people don't even check out the game on Steam.
Yeah, because it's named Pony Island.
And that's why I said the most unfortunate fact about the game is the fact that it's named Pony Island.
Yeah, and also if you recommend someone the game, they, like I said, they're hoping for a good game, and they're like putting expectations to the game. And if you put expectations to Pony Island that it's a good game, you're gonna probably have a bad time because you don't know where the good is. You're trying to look for the good, and you're probably gonna miss the story and the whole experience looking for what is good about this game. And maybe at the end you will realize like, that was pretty neat. That was different. If someone asks like, can you recommend me some game that's different, then Pony Island is definitely one of those. It's different.
I feel like recommending a game like Pony Island is like recommending an art film to a person who watches blockbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's very, very well said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you do have to. I mean, you just have to know your audience. Know who you're recommending it to. I mean, no one's gonna come into my stream and be like, "Hey, have you played the new Call of Duty? You should play it." Like, that's not what I stream. That's obviously not the type of game that I like. And likewise, I wouldn't go into a Counter-Strike streamer stream and be like, "Hey, have you played Pony Island? It's just like this because you click a bunch."
I've streamed Counter-Strike and I've streamed Pony Island.
And I would not recommend Pony Island to you. I'm sorry. If I come in there and you were playing Counter-Strike and you were doing really good at Counter-Strike, I would assume that you like Counter-Strike. I wouldn't recommend.
And
Pony
if we
Island.
would say something like, "Hey, can you recommend me a game?" I would probably say, "Oh, have you tried the latest Call of Duty?"
It doesn't have China in it. I promise.
Yeah,
we checked.
And I mean, what you guys both are saying is like true. Like, I understand what North is saying. Like, if I ask like chat, what should I play? I'm probably searching for a game that I already know, and because, like you said, Pony Island is like criminally underplayed. It's difficult to like recommend it to anyone, and likewise, like who do you recommend Pony Island to? I mean, I get that know your audience type of deal, and like know who are you recommending it to. I still like. Why did I recommend Pony Island to you, Joe? Like, I don't know. You play RPGs on your channel.
I don't know. It was on like a Saturday or something that I ended up buying it. So I think it was just on a big stream day, and I was just running out of games to play. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I don't know.
Like, because I will hold true to this. I won't talk about Pony Island because it is an experience, and I would almost, and this will sound pretentious as shit, I would call it an art game. Like you call art films. Because, I mean, it's so difficult to describe what Pony Island even is. Definitely not a game about ponies. That's for sure.
No.
but there is a pony.
There is one.
And
so
it gets to that weird point where, because my experience was so good with the game, it's like up here of all games ever I've played. And I feel kind of like I don't want to be that guy who's like, "Wow, you should play this because it's really good." Pretentious.
I mean, I think the biggest thing to take into account whenever recommending a game like that, or that game in particular, is like what does that person enjoy? Like, you could, if you sat down at this desk and you played Pony Island making my decisions, Pony Island would still be just as fun. If you played Pony Island for me, I think it would still be an enjoyable experience. However, if I played Counter-Strike for you, that is a very different experience, and it would not be enjoyable for either of us. So I think that like that's the kind of thing that you kind of have to consider in an instance like that. Is someone more there for the experience and the story, or are they wanting gameplay? Because if I go to someone's stream and all they play are battle royales, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, no offense, or even fighting games. It doesn't have to be just those, but typically competitive games, those type of gamers aren't looking for a story. They're looking for the thrill of the hunt, basically. So that's not. So yeah, that's just kind of something. No, we can't, Sully. Snip that in the bud right now. Yeah, I think that's the big difference. Is like Pony Island. Like I said, if I were just telling you what choices to make, it would still be a fun time.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, not so much.
Go ahead.
If anyone ever sees this video on YouTube and you end up buying Pony Island and playing it, please do tell us what it was like in the comments below.
Exactly.
Yeah. We all want to know because it's a very interesting game. I want so bad to say what the very last thing you have to do is, because I feel like that would hook people enough to want to play it, but that spoils the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because the very last thing you have to do had me dying. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about Pony Island.
Yeah. The one little bitty hint, the one tiny hint that I will give you as to what kind of game it is. At a certain point, you just close it. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I feel like that might give you enough without throwing enough. At one point, the part of the game is closing the game. That's the only thing I'll say.
I'm drawn to those types of games, and it's also the reason why I was partly why I was drawn to Spiritfarer, because I do seek those odd stories. I like the things that I enjoy so much is like when I played Gris on my channel, I had very little knowledge of Gris. And it ended up being that year's one of the best games that I ever played. I mean not ever, but that year's. I think it was like last year. Maybe the year before. No, I think it was last year. And Gris is a very simple game. It has no dialogue. It takes about 4 hours to beat it. 4 hours. And it completely hinges on if the emotional chord that it's trying to strike with you, if that works or not. If you absolutely hate what it's trying to make you feel, then you hate the game. There's no redeeming qualities in Gris if that mark gets missed. And I feel like it's the same with Spiritfarer. It has the management aspect. It has like more gameplay, like raw gameplay. But the raw gameplay just doesn't hold up. The story carries the game. And because the game is a bit long, it's about 20-30 hours to complete it, there's a lot of like downtime where you do those raw gameplay things. I think it would be very beneficial if the game would be like 5 to 10 hours long and compress that story to the best bits, have a more bite-sized like experience, like Pony Island, or like One Shot, or like Gris, or like the Hex. I mean, even Hex got to the point where it got a little bit long, but I understand why it did.
Yeah.
The game also has one of the greatest OSTs ever made. Gris.
Oh, Gris, yeah, I thought you meant Hex. Yeah, Gris's OST is very fucking good.
all of the games you're mentioning are basically what always makes me question the like value per hour type thing, like the pricing on games.
And that's fair. It's very fair.
Yeah.
To
Because
me,
those are typically shorter games, so they don't have like the arbitrary numbers that people want to pay like $1 an hour or whatever. So it's
and that is
because those
fair.
are way worth it.
Fair. I put like, and this is just me, nobody else has to do this. I also take into account like what's the level of enjoyment I get from this. Now obviously if I go blind into something, let's say Pony Island would cost $50. No way in hell would I've ever bought it. I mean, it doesn't look like it would be worth $50. But obviously, like all the games that I mentioned, I think Gris was I think it was $20 when I bought it. But and I can understand, like, okay, you pay $20 and you play the game and you beat it in like 3-4 hours. It's a little expensive. But the experience that I got from that game was worth that price tag. And that's a risk I take, obviously. Because if Grist would have missed its mark, then I would have absolutely regret buying it. No, luckily that did not happen. And I don't regret my time with Spiritfarer. I've put maybe 10-ish hours into it, but because I play it on Game Pass, I put no money down. So I don't regret my time with it, but I don't want to continue it.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'll have to look into it though. I hadn't even heard of it.
I do say, looks very pretty, runs really well. It has a very feel-good story in it. And the music's not terrible, but it is pretty repetitive.
Sounds like if you like Animal Crossing, you probably like that one.
I would not
Spiritfarer.
compare it to Animal Crossing.
Really?
I don't have too much experience with Animal Crossing, but I'm not comfortable comparing it to Animal Crossing.
I'm watching the little video now, and the very first review that pops up is basically the reason you don't like it, and it just said a very soothing experience.
And that is completely 100% a Tumblr problem. Like, and that to me is like the difficult thing with why I'm simultaneously saying I don't recommend it and I don't want to be the authority over like telling someone not to play this game. Because it clearly just misses that arbitrary mark that it's not the game for me, but it very well might be for you. But yeah, Spiritfarer, I think it's $20 on Steam. Possibly. Or 25. And according to how long to beat, it takes around 20-30 hours to beat. There's a good chunk of game. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like a soothing experience, then go for it.
I definitely know quite a few people that would probably really dig that game.
It does deal with like death and acceptance of death, but they do it in a very not negative way.
The word you're looking for is positive.
I didn't want to use that word because it's more. Oh, I guess you can say that death is a positive thing, but no. They deal with the thing very. The smile on their face.
I got you. That's interesting. That doesn't look like the type of game that would have that kind of stuff in it.
I mean, you are transporting spirits to the afterlife. And the main gig of the thing, the spirits that you are transporting, and I mean all this is explained in the first like 5 minutes of the game. Charon explains this. He's the former Spiritfarer who just quits his job and then you become the Spiritfarer. He says that the spirits that you're transporting, you have to complete their final tasks that hold them to the realm so that they can find peace and then move on. That's like the main thing of the game. And I mean, all your friends on the boat, they're animals, so that's cool. And you can hug a snake or a lion or a deer.
Or all three.
Or yeah, there's quite a few of them. You have a cool little toad that's also on the boat, and he's the most positive toad I've ever seen in any media ever. And he loves food.
Well,
Are there turtles?
There's a very huge turtle in the game.
Nice.
Her
it is
name.
kind of adorable that you can hug him though.
Yeah, and it is like. Yeah, so that's kind of like the point of the thing, right? The point of the segment, isn't it? That I talk about the thing that I necessarily don't like. Try to explain myself. I'm trying simultaneously also to recommend this game, even though I don't recommend it. So I do see the good parts of it. Yeah, there's a very huge turtle in the game. She also smiles. Can't hug the big turtle though, because the turtle is like bigger than your boat.
It's bullshit.
It's fucking 0 out of 10 Metacritic right now.
I'm not interested.
That's why you
anymore.
didn't like the game. Now I get it.
You couldn't hug everybody. That's what it is. I get it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. We talk about the big thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm not prepared for this one.
Yeah, me neither. I'm so tired.
A couple weeks back, the biggest dick fight in the tech industry started of this year. When Epic decided to knowingly and willingly, keep that in mind, violate Apple's terms of service on the Apple App Store, and which resulted in Fortnite getting booted off the App Store.
Do you know what the thing they actually did was? Because I never actually got that.
So yeah, to give context to the situation, if you are a developer and you want to sell your game on the Apple Store or App Store, and let's say you have microtransactions in that game, in order for you to sell all that, you need to abide by the terms. And when I download your game and then I buy 10 golden nuggets in your game with $100, per Apple's own terms of service, I have to buy them through Apple's own payment system, where Apple takes 30% of my purchase. So the developer gets 70%, Apple takes 30%. Google does the same thing with Google Play. It's what's been dubbed the industry standard. Now, what Epic did was that they circumvented that payment system, where they gave the option to players to purchase directly from Epic, which violates Apple's own system. Now, I want to preface this once more. They did this knowingly and willingly. Important to keep that in mind. So, pretty much instantly after Fortnite got booted, they issued a lawsuit. But the bigger thing is this see if I can actually find this real quick. We're not gonna watch the entire video, but they also released a video which looks like this. I'm not gonna keep the sound on it because it doesn't matter. This video is a parody of Apple's own advertisement from the 80s. And the important part is this. Epic is essentially goading people to take their side. I mean, they're honest here a little bit. Epic Games has defied the App Store monopoly. In retaliation, Apple is blocking Fortnite from 1 billion devices. I mean, billion, come on. Join the fight to stop 2020 from becoming 1984. What they're referencing here is George Orwell's book, 1984. And then, of course, hashtag free Fortnite. Number 1. Never take any side in these sort of fights. Epic don't give a shit about you, me, or anyone else. What they want is more money. Free, and it's very simple. Apple, of course, they booted them off because they knowingly and willingly broke the rules. Epic is they filed a lawsuit, and then Apple retaliated some more with essentially threatening to remove Epic as a developer for the App Store, which would mean that they would lose the Unreal Engine on the App Store. Because if they don't have the developer status, they can't update the Unreal Engine as time goes on. So as time goes on, it becomes obsolete. Now, I think a New York judge ruled that they can't do that. So Unreal Engine stays on the App Store.
What do you mean they can't do that?
It's seen as they're destroying other businesses. There's like unrelated to Epic, there's other developers who are using the Unreal Engine. So those people would also get shafted if Apple decides to not give Epic the developer status. I mean, take it away.
Yeah.
Microsoft also decided to hop into this shit, issuing basically a letter to the judge pleading for Apple to not have the right to remove Epic as a developer, and then they got their wish. People saw that as Microsoft taking like the stance of the people, but let's not forget here, care about one thing and one thing only: get the monies.
Yep.
Not some of it, all of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or in this case, it's big some of it.
I've been reading what people think about this from both sides. Unfortunately, when we're talking about Apple, there's a lot of people who take Apple's side with everything because they think Apple is the next to Jesus or some sort of shit. And they are doing what they predictably would do. They take Apple's side and everyone else is on Epic's side. And I plead to people, don't take anyone's side because you're not in this fight, even though Epic wants you to be in this fight. They don't give a shit about you. Or me. Or anyone else.
Wasn't it like 30% that Apple takes? That's a lot.
Like
yeah, that's so much.
Whatever you think about the 30% that Apple takes, which Google also takes, Google also booted Fortnite off of the App Store, but Epic decided not to sue them. Whatever you think about the 30%, it doesn't really matter. Because Epic, they agreed to the terms, right?
Yeah.
Like Epic they're setting themselves up to this position where they play the martyr essentially, or the Robin Hood or whatever. They are fighting for the people or some shit. Yeah. It sickens me because at the end of the day, like, we have a $1 billion corporation fighting a $2 trillion corporation. we're not in this fight, and we will never be in this fight.
You as a consumer, you will gain nothing out of this fight. Literally nothing, except the ability to give them more money.
Yes.
That's it. That's what they're fighting over, is who gets that 30%. That 30% won't be taken off. It's not like they're fighting to save you 30% because the number they were using was their bottom line. They just want that 30%. They want more of your money.
Epic is arguing mostly that Apple has created an unlawful monopoly. Because Apple, it's a closed market, so Apple controls every aspect of the App Store, which apps come in and how they work and whatever. And there's no leeway on that. So they're trying to argue that they want to break off that monopoly. Like, that it's unlawful that they've created this closed system because it's not Apple's market. It's just a market.
Yeah. Actually, and that might be why they chose not to sue Google, because if something's not on the Apple App Store, you just can't get it. Like, it's just not an option for you. But if it's not on the Google Play Store, you can actually just go download the APK file and still install it on your phone. You can root your phone. There are ways to get around the Play Store. But yeah, if Steve Jobs' ghost doesn't want you to play Fortnite, you're not going to play Fortnite.
Exactly.
At least with your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like it. Because even on Android, initially Fortnite was not on the Play Store because Epic didn't want to pay the 30%. But eventually they caved, and then they put it on the Play Store. I guess they just realized that kids don't know how to download the APK and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, the weirdest part about it is, couldn't you just go to their website and buy it? Like, can't you? Is your mobile Fortnite account the same account that you would have on your PC?
Probably, yeah.
I'm assuming,
so
yeah.
you could just go to the website either way and buy it directly from them, unless they count that as circumventing their App Store stuff. I feel like they're just split. It's I don't know. It's stupid. It's billionaires. It's people that have more money than everyone in this chat put together times 10 fighting over more money. It's just stupid.
Epic's CEO, he's Epic Games CEO, Tim Sweeney, that's his name. Yeah, he has been very vocal about like the 30% thing for a while now, like months. And it's initially, he was also like critical on Steam for the same thing. And it's one of the driving forces why they created the Epic Store, and why they marketed the Epic Store to developers, where they said, oh, we're only going to take 16%, whereas Steam takes, 20%? And then, obviously, when Apple and Google takes 30%, that's like too much for Tim Sweeney. I mean, he just wants a bigger bonus, probably. And what frustrates me most with this is that Epic are doing very deliberate things, removing the payment, or changing the payment option, anticipating that they're gonna get booted, immediately filed a lawsuit. I mean, it was ready to go, so they knew what Apple's gonna do. They goaded them into this legal battle, and releasing that fucking video, trying to get sympathy from Fortnite players. And I think, to me, that's the most idiotic thing, that they are guilt tripping people into caring about a legal battle between two huge fucking corporations.
Yeah. It's so stupid. Like, the whole thing is just moronic. Because, like, yeah, it is. It's something that we shouldn't be any part of. That is just for them to decide. And like you said, they don't even have a. I mean, they want to goad us into supporting them because without our support, they have zero chance. Like you said, they signed a contract legally. They don't have ground to stand on. So they have to have us because they want us to make an outrage. And guess what? If that 30% doesn't go to Apple, give it back to us. How about you show that you appreciate people and drop your prices by 30%? You fucking never mind.
See that? I saw a couple screenshots when they changed the system. So they even like on the app itself, when you went in to buy the V-Bucks, the top thing had like the regular one, what it used to be like, and then lower like under it was like 30% less. So you could buy V-Bucks on a discount, and when you bought it, it like tells you why. Like this is with this payment method you're paying straight to Epic and not to Apple. And like obviously people click that shit because it's 30% off.
Yeah.
And I mean I hope people don't think that if Epic wins somehow, then all the V-Bucks are gonna be cheaper. I mean, because if Epic and if they win somehow, they're gonna just put the price back up where it was and just take the extra 30.
I think the Epic Game Store is a good example. Games are not cheaper there, even they give more money to the developers. They're not cheaper there.
Yeah, it's still $60.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. On the one hand, like I get where they're coming from, but on the other hand, like no one's making you put your game on the App Store. Not every single game has to be on every single platform. If you don't like that 30%, don't put it there. If you're willing to take that 30% so you can get the other 70, I mean, I guess that's good for you. Because otherwise you're getting 0% of those dollars.
See, that's part of their argument too. That's literally part of their argument that, like what you're saying, like don't put your thing on the phone, like if you don't want to pay that. But that's what they're arguing too, that it's a closed system. Like they cannot be on an Apple phone if it's not on the App Store, and that's part of their argument that it's a monopoly, an illegal monopoly in this case. But it's like, because I've seen people talk about this and like on the Apple side, people are like, yeah, well, fuck it. If you don't want to pay the fucking thing, then don't put it on the App Store. Like, fuck off. And on the other side, it's like, damn, like they lowered the thing because 30 is like too much. And I'm sitting here and I don't give a shit who gets what. I care about what I fucking pay. Like, Apple doesn't need any more money. And Epic doesn't need any more money. But because capitalism is the thing that rules, no matter how much money they have, it's never enough.
And I bet my ass Epic Games brings Apple a shit ton of money. So if you want to really hurt them, just boycott them. Take the game off yourself and put it on Android. Force those people to buy Android phones.
Yeah.
I mean, they did also get booted off the Play Store, so it's like David versus two Goliaths.
Yeah, they should have gone to Google like, hey, we want to boycott Apple. Can we get like exclusivity deal or something?
And that probably would have worked. Been like, hey,
hell yeah,
we're Fortnite. We don't want to go to Apple because they're douchebags. However, if you only charge us 20%, we'll come over here. That probably would have worked.
See, so, we're a lot better running multi-billion-dollar corporation.
So there's actually something about that too. Both Google and Apple have stated that Epic approached them and tried to get like deals, and both of them turned them down.
Wow.
And like Apple, I don't know how legal it is even, but Apple like released emails between Tim Sweeney and like a bunch of Apple people where he's trying to negotiate a lower price, like than the 30. And there's also like a very separate lawsuit going on with Apple, where the FCT or some US government agency type thing is they're investigating Apple because apparently Apple has given special treatment to some companies, the biggest one being Amazon. And FCC, there we go. Like allegedly Amazon has a separate deal with Apple where they pay less than the 30%, which also would somehow be illegal. But that gets very deep into legalese that I'm not nearly enough qualified to even speculate.
Yeah. I mean, what'll end up happening is it'll either stay off Apple and we'll forget about it and no one will care, or it'll go back to Apple and then you'll get like 2 weeks of 30% off prices where they're just like, due to a stocking error down in our warehouse, we got too many V-Bucks. We're passing the savings on to you. And then it's going to be like 30% off for 2 weeks. And then they're just going to jump back up and you'll forget about it again. Those are the options.
No.
You'll either forget about it or they'll put out a deal and then you'll forget about it.
Or they will ramp up the prices.
Yeah. Or that.
No one will even
realistically, that's probably what's going to happen at some point. Inflation, man.
I hope that Apple's pride doesn't let them come back. Like, even if they're like, no, dude, we'll play the 30. I hope Apple's pride just keeps them off of there. I love it whenever those big old companies just get big companied right back. There's always a bigger bully, and that's what those guys got to remember. You're still the small fish in a big pond, Epic.
Yeah, even though Epic is like valuated at, I think their evaluation is at like $8-ish billion. Apple's a $2 trillion company. They're not even in the same ball game.
Yeah, no, $8 billion is nothing in the tech sector. That's not a lot.
I hope Epic Games calls up big boy Tencent, be like, can you back us up, please?
I mean,
yeah.
I think it's a little bit awkward probably because Tencent owns a lot, 5% in Epic or whatever, 49 or, I mean, some stake. And they're an investment company. So they strictly care about profits.
Hell yeah, and they probably own a lot of mobile games, I presume.
Yeah, I mean, like I have no idea what the market share or anything about on Apple is when it comes to Fortnite. How many? I mean, they said in their fucking propaganda video that billion devices are like in danger, and I don't know what kind of billion devices they're talking about, but I can almost say that there's not a billion Fortnite players on Apple or iOS rather.
But it didn't say like players from playing. They just said that devices. There has to be at least billion devices that you can download like Fortnite on. It's
well,
okay,
okay. They mean the Apple phones.
Yeah, even I have a 2013 Apple phone somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. It's one of those
and
billion
I can't
devices.
download Fortnite on
it.
Yeah. Can't download Fortnite.
Better file a complaint. Yeah, you can also say that Apple holds the monopoly, and that is like the major argument that they're doing is that the App Store itself is a closed system, a closed market, and is solely under Apple's control, and that is creating that monopoly, and they don't agree.
That's where they're going to get shafted, honestly, in that's not technically a monopoly. Like, they don't have a monopoly over cell phones, they have a monopoly over their own devices. So like they own that software, they own that hardware. So to say that they have a monopoly over their own equipment is kind of a misnomer.
So that's what I don't like understand in like a legal case when you're talking about the market. Is the market part of Apple? Is it Apple's market or is it just a market?
And monopolies now are much much harder to define than in the past. And the only reason I know anything about them is because we used to have a telecom monopoly in our area, like right around the time that I started working, and there was certain laws to pass it because it used to be, and in some cases it probably still is, like a geographic thing. Like there's nothing Apple can do to stop me from buying another cell phone. Like it's not like every cell phone provider around here only serves Apple. I have other options. Now the way that it was different for us before the monopoly was split up was that Verizon used to own like literally 100% of the copper phone lines in the state of Illinois. Like it was like a small percentage was AT&T, but in some areas like our area, it was 100% Verizon, literally a monopoly. And they actually forced them to start leasing their lines to other companies. So that's like a physical limitation, but there's really nothing stopping me. Like Apple isn't a market, that's a brand, that's a product.
Now, yeah, but the Apple is so big, it almost like creates its own like micro market.
Yeah. I guess
that's also what they're arguing, that Apple, the phones are getting so widely used.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand what you mean. Like you can go get another phone. You don't have to use Apple. But if the preference is that people use Apple phones, can it be called like a monopoly at that point? Like if there is an option, but if nobody else uses that other option, is it then a monopoly?
I don't know. I would think not, because you have the other option. It's not Apple's fault that you're not picking it. Like, even though it's not a good option, because around here, whenever they force people to start spreading it out there, it wasn't good. But it still counted as enough. Like we sold 768K service. Our fastest DSL whenever we started leasing Verizon's lines was 3 meg. And it was the leftover bandwidth from their network. So it was super slow. But that counted. So I would think that that's enough. Even it's like I said, it's not Apple's fault you don't prefer Android products. They can't do anything further to make you want to do that. You have access to the alternative. Apple can't do anything to make you take it,
but
or to stop you from taking it.
Kind of weird that they only have like one store. That kind of forces it into monopoly. For instance, if they would have like 2 stores, it wouldn't be monopoly anymore.
Google only has the one Play Store.
Yeah, but
now,
Android
granted,
can have multiple.
Yeah.
And what Diesel is saying, like, but it isn't the consumer that isn't getting screwed the most, it's mobile devs. Because Apple holds half the mobile market, so devs don't have the choice but to sell on iOS. And yeah, that is also part of their argument, that because they have to use the App Store, it creates the situation where Apple controls that entire market. And this is where like my knowledge just isn't enough. Like, can you call that like a legal monopoly or not? I mean, even if it's half of the market, I understand like that you can't call it a monopoly because there's another 50% that's not part of that other 50%. So, but like, and then it goes to like these market laws or whatever, where we're talking about competition, and if is the competition stifled or whatever, is Apple using their power to like block competition essentially, or screw other companies over? And I mean, at the end of the day, App Store is more regulated than Play Store. Like, you have to get approved by Apple to put your shit on the App Store, and that's usually what, especially Apple people, what they like about it, because it's curated. On Android, you can get whatever shit there is, just like on Steam you can get whatever asset flip game. Whereas, App Store, you usually get quality stuff. I mean, I don't use my phone in that way, but and on Epic Store everything's curated too, so you can't buy an asset flip game. Then it just comes down to preference. What do you want?
Yeah, I just don't think Epic has a dog in the fight for that. I think
me neither. I think it's very simple that they violated their terms of service, knowingly and willingly.
Yeah. No matter how big a fit you throw, you can't unsign a contract. You can throw a temper tantrum and waste who knows how much money having a whole cinematic made. The amount of
ready
time and-
ready to fucking ship it to YouTube before they made the change.
Yeah.
Unless they somehow prove that the contract is legal.
Right.
That's not what they're arguing though. They're
Yeah,
not even trying that.
But if
But-
they
yeah.
achieve what they're trying to do now, that basically makes it, if they say that it's a closed market, it's illegal to make contract like that. I
Yeah.
would say.
That's it. They that's the only way that they have. They have to find some loophole in that contract to make it not legal. And in that case, you have to wonder, like, if you're talking about monopolies and contracts and stuff, I mean, what would they have to alter their contract as their market share grew? Like, at some point, do they, like, at what point is Apple no longer responsible for that monopoly? It's, I mean, they can advertise and they can do stuff like that, but at what point is it not Apple's fault that people buy so many Apple products?
I think I read somewhere that in like a hypothetical case, if Apple gets like so big that, let's say, literally everyone just has an Apple phone, then they would be subjected to like a very different set of rules, where Apple itself would become more regulated. Like if you don't have the choice anymore to choose a phone, then obviously they can't do what they're doing now. They would have to allow everyone on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, at that point, it would almost go back to the Verizon example in my area that I used. It's like then they would be forced to start giving other people an opportunity, even if they are still making money from it, because whenever we leased those lines from Verizon back in the day, we still paid them. Every customer that was ours, a big chunk of that money still went to Verizon. So, I mean, that's almost the same thing as what they're doing here. I mean, this kind of stuff happens. It just sucks that Epic is too big a baby not to just pay it. I mean, it happens. It's not a video game specific thing. It happens in a lot of places. If you use someone else's resource, even if it's just a platform, you pay for it.
Yeah. And like that's why I'm more annoyed at Epic, because I mean they're going so much against the grain, and it feels almost like they're
It feels
like
really forced.
Yeah. And I at least like to say that I see through them. They want off the App Store, but they want to be on Apple phones, and they want that 30%.
Yeah.
And that's their end goal.
I think if this had come up before they put it on the Apple Store, like if they made an announcement that said, hey, we're not going on to Apple Store, here's why, I would way prefer that over them signing a contract and then throwing a temper tantrum.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because then at least it's like, okay, well, you're not breaking the law, and yeah, that is really high. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. But they purposefully broke the contract and then want us to be outraged about it, and that just seems like bullshit to me.
Indeed. In conclusion, fuck Epic, fuck Apple, fuck Google, and fuck China.
And Activision. Let's
And
just throw them
Activision.
out there.
Yep. Under the bus, motherfucker.
I mean, while we're handing out fucks, I mean, Ubisoft,
Konami.
EA.
Yeah.
No, as long as we're just tossing them out there, you got to get the classics in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Bethesda, can't forget
Yeah,
Bethesda.
exactly.
And fuck pre-ordering.
Yeah.
And fuck pre-ordering.
Don't fucking pre-order.
But hey, Xbox Game Pass. Very
Yeah,
nice. Very
don't
nice.
Don't fuck Xbox Game Pass. Isn't it crazy how whenever people do good things, we praise them for it? Isn't it wild how we don't actually shit talk Xbox and Sony that much?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't
Because
know
they
how-
just make video games? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild.
How are we not mad that PlayStation has exclusives? Why are we not mad?
I don't know. It's
I don't know.
crazy how it
a good
works.
question.
I don't know how it works.
Maybe because we just expect that. Like that's just what they do.
Or it's because you
Yeah.
guys own PlayStations and I don't.
Shut up, North. I don't want to talk about it anymore, man. Look, I have biases. I'm not too big to admit that.
Yeah, I mean, I have biases too, and I mean, like honestly, like what you said, like they do what we expect them to do. I think that holds very true. Like when fucking Epic goes in and does a roundhouse kick on Apple and just decides to, no, this doesn't work anymore. It's like in asking me to be on their side. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would I ever take your side?
Yeah. Why doesn't it work anymore? Tell me that. Are you saying that you're losing money, that you can't afford to take 30% less money? Is that what's happening?
Are you not
no,
a
it's not.
multi-billion-dollar company?
Yeah.
Do you not
still-
have literally the most successful game on the planet right now?
The real pro gamer move here would have been raise the prices by 30% on mobile devices and say it's these guys' fault. That would have been the break right there.
They should have done that. That would actually be way funnier too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would be mad at the Apple more because they charged that much.
Yeah.
That would have been so much better.
I would
Yeah,
I would
I
still
agree.
not be mad at Apple though.
Why
Because
not?
it's multi-billion-dollar companies swinging their dicks like, and I'm like here with my little peepee and can't do jack shit.
Yeah. I mean that's what it boils down. I don't really care either way. Like I'm not getting any benefit. I have an Apple phone and I wouldn't if my work didn't give it to me.
Yes, I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Sponsored by my
fucks.
work.
You fucks.
It has no I have both, North. That's how dedicated I am. I have an Android and an Apple phone.
Dang, son.
Yeah. There is not I take that back. Outlook is the only app that I've downloaded on my Apple phone. The only thing I've downloaded from my Apple phone was a Microsoft product, and that should tell you everything you need to know.
I'm pretty sure whatever you downloaded Outlook, right?
Mhm.
You could have used just their email.
It's bad.
Is it that bad?
It's bad. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
Well, that explains it. Like,
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we have Outlook too. Everyone
It's
uses that.
1,000. It's 1,000 times better.
Indeed.
But yeah, even then, I could get by, and I did for several years. For probably the first 5 or 6 years I had it, I just used the regular one, and then I tried Microsoft's the Outlook app, and I was like, wow, what an idiot.
What a dum dum.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna end it up.
yeah.
Thanks for stopping by. Go listen to Simlish music. That's what I'm gonna do. After this, I'm gonna go look up if there's any just real bangers. The Katy Perry was good. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was surprisingly catchy.
Yeah, maybe you guys should go watch up some Simlish. If you're not sure what to do after the podcast, go listen to some Simlish music.
Next month we'll be back. Second and fourth Wednesday.
That'll
Gonna be hell of a fucking doozy for me, but I'm gonna try to survive.
That'll be on
9th
the
and
9th.
23rd.
Yep, 9th and 23rd. All right.
Yes. Exactly. It's the truth. And
Smile and wait.
I've probably played a new game by then, maybe. Kind of lost interest in playing games, honestly, but I'll try my best to play some games.
Is that Dan Corona?
Yeah. Well, stay inside, stay safe, and
Wear your mask.
Wear a mask, yeah, and don't fucking party.
All right, I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.